the sacrifices are heavy. We fight knowing that. A single spark of courage.
What's up everyone, my name is Max and today we'll be reviewing the 9497, the Republic Striker class Starfighter. Try saying that 3 times. Of course, I'm trying to keep these reviews as relevant as possible, and yeah, there aren't any Old Republic sets releasing anytime soon, but I just love the Old Republic sets, and there will also be an Old Republic remake releasing next year, hopefully bringing us new Old Republic sets. And remember, if you enjoyed this review, hit the like button and consider subscribing or whatever the other YouTubers tell you to do. I don't know. I'm new to all of this. But before we start, I just want to ask you to excuse my poor English. I'm no native speaker, so please just keep that in mind. But let's jump right in with this set's basic information. The set originally released in 2012 under the classic Darth Maul box art line. It came with a total piece count of 376 pieces, which also includes 3 minifigures, with all of them still being exclusive to the set even 10 years later. The retail price of this one was $45 US, 50 euros or 40 pounds depending on where you live. After accounting for inflation, $45 back in 2012 is now around $56, which takes us from about 12 cents per piece to around 50 cents per piece, and not gonna lie, that's pretty hefty. I sadly wasn't able to find the design of this one, but that is usual for sets released in this time. And now with all of that out of the way, let's go into further details, starting with the minifigures of this set. So first figure for today is the Teal Sean. This version of her is of course based off the game Cinematic Hope, which you basically fought Malgus on Alderaan. If you want to see me cover Malgus and the set he's in, there's the video in the info card in the top right corner right now. But getting back to the figure, I think there's one big problem with this figure, and I'll get to that later, but before that I gotta say, I love the outfit. She has very detailed printing all around, even on the hip and back, with even these little braids printed on there to kinda continue her hair to make it more accurate. The hairpiece isn't the best, but it's okay. But coming back to the problem I mentioned earlier, this figure suffers from a problem a lot of figures in this time suffered from: whitewashing. Now, I'm not calling Lego racist, I'm just calling them lazy. I'll drop some reference material from the cinematics as well as from the game itself on the screen right now, and as you see, she's Asian. I'd say that if they did this figure again now, they'd make her way more accurate, but considering how the Shang-Chi minifigs came out last year, I wouldn't have the highest hopes, honestly. Overall, a good minifigure that just suffers from the skin tone problem. Our second figure today is Jace Malcom. This again is based off the Hope cinematic, and I think they really nailed this figure. The head and the hair are quite accurate, and I think the choice of going with red as the armor color was a good idea. I don't really like the normal Republic troopers they released a year later that were literally based off the same cinematic but looked way uglier. Unlike the other Republic troopers, they didn't give this one a helmet, which makes sense because he never wears one, so makes sense. Moving on to his body now, you can see that it's really detailed. Of course, no arm or side leg printing, but it was 2012, so I don't really expect much. But he has hip printing, which looks great, and also this little knife strap to his chest, which I never recognized before, but it looks great and is again accurate to the cinematic. Overall, a great figure and the best one this set.
T7, prep the iron cannons.
And our last figure slash droid slash whatever is T701. It's the only T7 droid we've ever gotten in Lego form, and rightfully so, cause he's fucking ugly. There's nice detail on his chest area, I guess, and the 2 printed dish pieces are nice as well, but otherwise he's quite ugly. The other Astromec droids are already too big, and this one is basically as tall as a normal minifigure. It's nice that they try to integrate the third leg or wheel on the back, but it just looks way too chunky. Overall, one of the weaker droids we've gotten so far. But now, let's move away from the minifigures and go over the actual build.
Across the galaxy.
And here we have it. Not gonna lie, it doesn't look great. It looks nothing like the in-universe model, and it's actually not even called the Republic Striker class Starfighter. It's called the Liberator class Starfighter. I honestly don't even know why they changed the name. I think the original one rolls off the tongue way better, but whatever. But let's start with the cockpit. The windshield uses this printed piece. I think it works well, and the inside is actually very detailed. You can spot control panels on either side of the seat and in front of it. Above that, you have the steering handle and this little transparent green piece depicting some sort of display they always have in those ships. You can also comfortably fit the Teal Sean in there, even with her hair, thanks to this seat being 3 studs long. If you now want to store her lightsaber somewhere, behind the cockpit is this little flap which reveals 2 little pieces which can hold the lightsaber. It's not pretty, but it definitely works. We can just stay back here and talk about the engines. I think they look good. I like the way they are built, but that's all I can pretty much say about them. Now arriving at the wings, yeah, let's be honest here, they're ugly as well. They have a bunch of brick build detail on them, which doesn't really make sense since the wings are actually very flat on the in-universe model. In front here we have these huge guns, and I think they look fine, but on the sides here we have these pins, and they don't really make sense here and just look ugly if you have the wings in this position. But what you can do now, just like on the in-universe model, is fold the wings back. They attach via these handles here on the front as well as on the back, and now these previously mentioned pins also make sense since they're actually meant to fire or flick fire missiles, so you just push here and the missiles fly out. Way less effective than the spring shooters, but whatever. Now these guns look very awkward, but you can simply turn them to face the right way and also can turn them further than you're supposed to because of this clip right here. And I personally think it looks way better like this and not with the wings basically sticking to the main body of the ship. Another problem this set has is that there isn't any space for an Astromec droid, and I honestly don't really know why they even included him here. And actually that already wraps up the review. So now that we arrive at the final verdict, what is my opinion on this set? I think it was an okay deal. I got out the 2020 X-Wing, and as you can see, they're pretty similar in size and only have a $5 price difference, so even by modern standards, not bad. But obviously you won't get this set for $45 or $55 anymore. If you want it sealed, you'll be paying around $80 to $90 on Bricklink. It probably won't really be going up in price, although there is a remake of KOTOR releasing next year that might influence the prices of other sets like the Sith Fury class Interceptor or the Jedi Defender class Cruiser. Of course, if you collect all the Old Republic sets, you're gonna get this one as well, but if you're just thinking about it, I'd say don't buy it. The build isn't that great, unlike with the Sith Fury class Interceptor, and the figures aren't expensive either, so in my opinion, save your monies, get the figures on Bricklink. Shouldn't cost you more than like $30, and then you'll still have $60 to spend on other sets like the 2020 X-Wing for example. So after considering all of that, I'd give this set a 6.5 out of 10 with a just buy the figures recommendation. We finished again with another review. I'm not entirely sure what my next video will be, but it probably won't be a review. If you want to see more of me, until then, I have a shorts channel that is linked in the info box right now, as well as an Insta that is linked in the description, so go check those out. And with that, until next video, goodbye.